I just want to get this in really, really quickly, right? And it's just about hiring and recruiting in Web3, but also what I'm seeing when I'm seeing podcasts and people talk about Web3. Now, so I've just been paying attention to stuff, a few bits out there and just seeing who's, talking about recruiting in the Web3 space. And there's one thing that comes to my attention immediately, which is they're absolutely boring.
Damn it!
So, and the reason why I want to point that out is because Web3, right, is literally one of the biggest shifts that we've ever had in our species, in humanity, ever. And when I'm watching some of those podcasts or people talk about how to recruit in the Web3 space, they're talking about it from a Web 2 mind. And you need Web3 thinking people. And the reason why I talk about them as two mindsets is once you start getting into the space and seeing what it's all about, you're really starting to find some intelligent, forward-thinking people in that space. So if you're going to rock up and talk about it, do it well.
Showtime! Woo!
Also, another great thing about Web3 companies is they're leading the way of a new way of us working. So when we had the pandemic and this remote working thing sort of kicked into action, that happened for a small period of time, and then sort of kind of a lot of companies went back to that traditional method of like everybody in the office, 5 days a week, and let's just own you.
You'll report to the stable tonight and every night at 1900 hours. And without that pledge pin! Do you understand?
And I think with Web3, we're looking at doing things remotely, properly, and to do it effectively, right, to lead it effectively, you can't have Larry who just sits there and, if he doesn't have an eye watching him, he doesn't do anything. We actually need committed 24/7 around the clock people that you could just drop a message, whatever time it is, and they don't take years to respond to you. They get back to you very, very quickly. So it's almost like you've got to work with people that are actually committed to progress, which brings me on to communication. So like your communication's got to be second to none. And if you're not good at communicating, you need somebody that you can work with that really is good at communicating, because if you've got a message that you need to pass on from A to C, then whoever B is needs to be an absolute genius at understanding what A said and then giving it to C properly. So when you work in an office environment, it's really, really easy. I've said this before about overhearing a conversation and then just jumping in and making use of that data, that information you can hear. With a remote-based company, you don't get that. You're not going to get that luxury. So what that means is the people that need to step into this space have got to be really, really good communicators, or like I said, you're going to need somebody in your team, right, who's really good at relaying that message between everybody. Also, another thing that I'm hearing is like companies turn around and saying, got a really good talent pool. Well, that's not necessarily true, is it? Just because you've got tons of people that are applying for your roles, or you've got loads of people to speak to, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the absolute perfect person to be placed in your organisations for you guys to grow remotely. So like I'm hearing things of lots of companies and people that I speak to, and they're telling me that they're doing like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 interviews a day. Probably a little bit over the top there. But what I'm saying is you're interviewing far too many people. So if you've got somebody that's a good communicator that understands what it is that you're after, understands the business, understands the vision, and are really good at building relationships with ethical, proper, committed people. As long as we understand that message properly, the ratio of interview to placement should go right down. I'm talking like one person interviewed or 2 people interviewed, that's it. Not 6 to 7 interviews a day.